sense over the top, literally, like women are. He does. But
yeah.
he's also selling that.
What is the
Yeah.
university?
It's
They
like
teaching?
the hustle.
They can quit at any time they want.
It's like $70 a month,
right?
and you become a top G.
That's literally. I mean,
All right, so right now I'm actually just gonna be making some hoodies while I'm just gonna play some YouTube videos. Enjoy.
Joe Rogan.
What do you think? What do you think?
what really? Why is Rome? This like what is the? What do they have?
Well, that is the right answer. Nobody knows. A lot of people are acting like go read it.
Well, they want,
which is crazy.
They want him to represent.
Well, he is.
Car collection.
The one thing I do understand. Crazy. Being bad people.
Romania. I don't know what their system. Real. Really did all the same. Really did. I hope he gets the fuck out of Romania. What he did. What he satire. The role is boastful. Doing this, but then very nice things. Ridiculous shit, but also says really interesting authorities declined to prosecute.
This says that they told the producers of the show like 5 days before he was kicked off, and then a video was found of him and a girl doing something that then they came out and said this was like a kinky video they were making, and everyone thought
The
he was kicked
girl
off for
came
the
out and
video.
said that was very consensual and that they were doing role play and that they liked to do this thing where he would like beat her up or
This
something.
article is saying that didn't have anything to do with why he was kicked off the show.
This is one of the perfect.
I don't know.
This is one of the perfect examples, though, of kind of what we're talking about. I don't fucking believe Vice.
I don't know. But yeah,
I don't believe. How can you believe anything that is said about somebody so controversial? Because everybody seemingly has already made up their mind.
Right.
So where to get real information on him? Who knows?
All the objectionable stuff, I think, also was unnecessary. I think if he I mean, I don't know him. If I did know him, I would tell him all the boastful shit and the shit about him being, you know, the top G and all that stuff. All that shit's great. But the misogynistic stuff, like if you have daughters or if you have a wife or if you have sisters and stuff like that, you don't want that.
Well,
you don't that narrative, like putting that out there, that's negative to everybody. It's not even positive to him. It's like it's not necessary.
We had him on one of our podcasts, and he almost struck me exactly how you said. Like for, let's say, he's talking for 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, making sense, smart. And then he says something so
Wild.
over the top, literally like women are my property, like I own them. It's like, whoa, what'd you just say? And that's what he does. But
Yeah.
he's also selling that class.
What is the class? The Hustlers
yeah.
University? What is that? What are
It's
they
like
teaching people?
to hustle.
But what do they teach? Are they?
To hustle.
They can quit at any time they want.
It's like $70 a month, and you
Right.
become a top G. That's literally.
I mean, is that bad? I don't know. I mean, is it a con game or is he trying to give them legitimate information? What is he giving them other than what he's already said in interviews and like what? How is it a university? Like what is?
He has people who, and that's where it's a grayer because
Aren't there like professors? Hustlers University. Experience modern wealth creation.
I haven't looked at this. I didn't know this was even real.
Yeah, no, this is what he said. Like a
There's
main
so many grifters.
main business.
Secure
was.
your spot for just $49 is your last chance to secure a spot or a discounted price.
This weird countdown thing is such a trap
Oh, that's
on the internet.
hilarious. Oh,
Like
my
this-
God.
was
I
it
only
just
have 1
recycled?
hour,
Yeah,
10
for
minutes, and 36 seconds to sign up.
And that's going to be 147. if you
Jesus,
don't make your
enroll
decision
now, Jamie. You have only
All right,
got
right.
an hour
Let's
before
take
this
the class.
Enroll.
Before this
Let's enroll. Let's enroll. What do we have to do? Click on that. Enroll now. Okay. What do we have to do? The Real World has launched a completely matrix independent platform where we teach you how to make money in the digital age. How do they teach you how to make money?
You just hustle, man. You just hustle.
So $600 a year.
It's also another thing, like this Matrix thing, which he has, which again, I am a firm believer based on my experience. Like people are out to get you, they're out to get you. He also, if he committed these crimes, he's sort of brilliant. Be like, they're coming for me in the next couple days because you know they're coming, and then your followers go, aha, he was
Right.
right. It's like a self-fulfilling
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
But I will say, he goes too far. Like, and yeah, you'd think rational people be like, "Whoa, you're crazy," but there's a lot of, and that's where anything's a slippery slope.
He's also a wild dude that lives in the world of kickboxing. And that is a wild group of people. I mean, you pay attention to like top flight kickboxers like the Badr Haris and there's some Melvin Manhoef. There's some wild fucking people in that world. That is a crazy world where there's not a lot of money and you're facing fucking straight up killers. And, there's all sorts of different personalities in that world, but it's a different kind of human. They're just wild, masculine, very aggressive people, and that's part of his shtick.
But he, if you want to use the word toxic masculinity, he's it.
The bad stuff that he said embodies that.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what that's why people are rooting for what he said to be true, because they don't want that.
Right. But you're still crazy to root for that because you're not thinking about the victims that would be involved. You're basically, that means a lot of people were hurt.
Well, if it's true, you want them to be punished.
Correct.
Like hoping that it's not true when it is true is not good either.
No, but
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're hoping that it's true and it's not true, that's horrible because you are hoping for people to have been victimized. I see what you're saying.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
I mean, you should never hope violent crimes are committed.
Right.
Period.
Absolutely. Agreed. Yeah, for sure. But you also hope that he's not accused of these things when it's just because of his bombastic personality
Totally.
and talking shit and getting all this attention, which he clearly has done. You got to wonder how much of it is sat. Like when he talked to Piers Morgan, that was a very interesting conversation because Piers confronted him on all these things, and he did a great job of explaining what he does and why he does it. And you know, it's like the guy went viral in a way that no one has. And so quickly.
Yeah.
In a while, we're like my 12-year-old and my 14-year-old were asking me about it.
Yeah, no, he was it.
Yeah, all over TikTok and all over everything. And if you just
But
look at
that's
some
a
of those
scary
little
part
clips,
in a weird way. If your 12-year-old and 14-year-old
Right.
are hearing some of
Right.
the outrage, like nobody wants.
yeah,
Yeah, he didn't even have a TikTok, I think, and he was like the #1 guy on TikTok. Crazy.
I think they probably banned him. Right? I mean, they banned him from everything. They banned him from Facebook. The only thing he's still
and then
on is
Elon.
Twitter.
Yeah, Elon brought him back.
Yeah, which, listen, I agree with. I think you should be able, I don't think banning people's the way. I think this exchange with Greta Thunberg is a perfect example of how to counteract that.
Yeah.
Like she just mocks him. And then he gets arrested and she has the fucking tweet of the year making fun of his arrest.
Yeah.
And a fucking perfect one-liner. That's what happens if you don't recycle your pizza boxes.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
No,
it's genius. That's why it's good that someone like that is on social media because you get a chance for people to participate in the conversation.
What do you want?
Want a job that I don't hate. Want to do something that matters. But I don't know what that thing is. I feel like I want somebody to tell me exactly what to do. I want to stop feeling like if I take one more step, I'm just going to fall into a pit forever.
I mean, what do you want to eat?
Oh, pad thai.
Yeah, so 2 orders of the pad thai. Yep, that's everything.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles can be carried in public without a license? Whereas in Florida, no open carrying is allowed, except in unique situations like in hunting or fishing. Hi, I'm Colion Noir, a Pro 2A attorney with over 2 million YouTube subscribers. I'm always a little shocked when I see or speak to gun owners that don't know the laws of their state. And the laws change or are amended often. Whether you're traveling, carrying daily, or even thinking about getting a gun, it's crucial that you know the law. To check out your state's gun laws and permit reciprocity, click below. You'll get a 100% free interactive map that covers everything from castle doctrine to state license population numbers. And best of all, it's constantly updated by the legal experts at the U.S. Concealed Carry Association, and it's 100% free. Click below to claim your interactive concealed carry map from USCCA right now.
So yesterday, while this is going on, we're in meetings. I'm doing Zooms. I'm doing a bunch of different things. People are texting me, your boy got down, and, your boy, they took him down. They did all this. I'm like, listen, keep going. One more. Right there. Click on that one. Right there. Click on that one. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. I said, don't know exactly the details of Tate's arrest, but here's what I do know. A day after he publicly calls out one of woke's heroes, Greta Thunberg, they raid his place. Strange timing. Meanwhile, we haven't seen anyone from Epstein's list arrested.
Weird.
Strange. Now go to the bottom. At the bottom, I say he's loud. He pushes the envelope. He frustrates the left. He points out hypocrisy. He's duplicating young men to do the same. Having said that, if they committed a crime, the proper agencies will do what they need to do. Till then, innocent till proven guilty. So then I get invited on this Twitter Spaces with, again, the guy Mario Nufal. I think he does a fantastic job as a host. And I'm on there. And he says, so Patrick, you've interviewed with him. You've spent many hours with him. How is he? How is he on camera? How is he off camera? I said, quite frankly, I liked him more off camera than on camera. And I liked him on camera.
Yeah.
I just liked him more off camera.
I would agree.
He says, so what do you have to say about, all this stuff that's coming out? I said, here's a couple things you have to be very careful with. First thing you have to be very careful with is, I said, as a father, anytime the school calls me telling me what my son did wrong, my natural inclination is to say what? My son would never do something.
Exactly.
Until I talk to him, I'm like, oh, shoot. You know, he, yeah, you kind of did it again.
How about you?
So, and by the way, you know, that it ought to be that way. You know, parents ought to, you know, have a certain level of loyalty and belief in their kids. You know, if I get a call from somebody saying what you did something, and I'm getting a call and I'm talking to the person, you and I are going to have a conversation, and then I'm going to sit there and say, listen, you know, it is what it is. Let's wait to see what's going on. Regardless of what it is, we have to know two things. Both can be right. One, I was going to Bible study years ago when I'm an atheist, and this guy's trying to convert me. I'm like, listen, you're not going to do it. 25 years I've been an atheist. You think you can convert me? And I told him, I said, look, I've been to churches. I've seen pastors do this. I've seen pastors take advantage of, you know, members, rip them off with money, marriages, what they were doing on the side, smoking weed, doing drugs, having sex, and then they're claiming up there on stage that they're so mighty. He says, here's a rule number one about if you want to have a relationship with the man upstairs. If it's horizontal, you'll always be disappointed. If it's vertical, you'll never be disappointed. I said, explain that to me. He says, people are going to let you down, okay? Everybody is. You've let down your kids. You've let down your parents. I mean, at that time I don't have kids, but he's saying you've let down your parents. You know, your parents have let you down. Your sisters let you down. You've let her down. Your friends, all this stuff. None of us walk on water, okay? Just hope you don't make the big mistakes, but we don't walk on water. We all make mistakes. Don't be surprised if a hero disappoints you. That's one. So years after that, I'm working at this church. This one Assyrian guy comes to me. They want to create an Assyrian part of this church. I won't mention the guy's name. And he says, man, I will kiss the pastor's feet. He's this, he's that. He's saying this in front of 30 Assyrians in this one guy's house, Wilson. And I said, listen, never ever put that much pressure on a man to be perfect because he's going to fall. Never give that much, you know, love and attention and accolades to a human being. Give him love. Give him respect. But you're talking as if he's God and he can't make any mistakes. He says he can't. He's never going to make mistakes. I said, listen, I don't want that kind of pressure. And I said, I can't help you guys out with this request that you have. Bring it to today, okay? You know, you have to know the people who really support this guy, they don't think he can do anything wrong. And that's unfair to him. And it's managing too much expectations for yourself. The other side, the people who can't stand, like on yesterday's Twitter Spaces, one Romanian lawyer got on. He says they're not going to let him be bailed out. He's not going to get out. They're probably going to do 15 to 20 years. And another guy comes in, he should go to jail. And another, you should go to jail. He's going to go to jail. Do you realize what he did? This is unfair. All this stuff that they're saying about what's going on with this, right? People, by the end of yesterday's Twitter Spaces, everybody said, this guy's going to jail for 15 to 20 years. If you're a salesperson, if you're an Uber driver, if you're somebody that say you're doing Uber Eats, you do Lyft, you're out there running appointments, you run a small business, but you don't want to have a gun because you don't want to get arrested and you're not trying to kill anybody. You're just trying to stop somebody so you can call the cops so they can come to you and you have enough ample time for people to stop. You may want a gift for 2023 for somebody. You may want to buy him a burner gun. And this burner gun, when I called, I said, I want this thing to be optional for everybody to buy. I want our guys to have a discount, so that's exactly what we negotiated. The link is right there if you're trying to buy something to protect yourself going into next year. Next year is going to be a year of investigation. It's going to be a very, very weird year with a lot of people going back and forth, especially coming closer to election time. Highly recommend you buy one of this for you. If you have a wife that does sales, highly recommend you buy it for her, your daughter, yourself, your sales team. Anybody and everybody that's out there seeing a lot of different people, but you don't want to get you're pro-Second Amendment or you're not a pro-Second Amendment person, this is the gun for you to make sure you can protect yourself. The moment you point this at somebody, the first thing they see is all they think about, it's a real gun, and you can protect yourself. Again, legal in all 50 states. Let's put a link below so people can take advantage of it. So
that's what they believe.
They believe. These guys.
These are
Romanian lawyer got on.
Oh, wow.
A Romanian lawyer got on and said, hey, here's what's going on. The Romanian lawyer also said something that was pretty fascinating. But the people who don't like him, let's not get it twisted. A girl yesterday tweets at me, some comedian, Nicole something, I don't even know what her last name is, but she tweets at me and she says, you're this and you're that, you're exactly this. I said, listen, the difference between me and you is you're emotional and you're speaking factual, like this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm being logical and paranoid. That's the only difference. I said, you're doing this, I'm doing that. Okay? And, So the people that are happy that he got arrested, you know what crowd they're a part of. You know why? They're celebrating whatever they're celebrating. Having said that, let's set that aside. Let's set those two aside. This is the most important point to be thinking about, okay? This is the most important point to be thinking about. If he committed the crime, he committed the crime, okay? I don't know all the rules and regulations. I don't know, Cardone got on and he says, well, I don't know anybody that does all the right business and has 6 different passports. Why do you need to have 6 different passports and et cetera, et cetera? Okay, it's a valid point. Why do you need 6 different passports? Maybe that's normal in Europe. Maybe that's how he gets around. Maybe it's a valuable thing to have passports. I know billionaires that have multiple passports. Maybe not 6, but I do know people that have 2 or 3 passports. In that area, it's actually very normal for somebody to have multiple passports.
He not so subtly addressed the fact that his father may or may not have worked for the CIA.
Yeah.
Weird, right?
Yeah. But here's the part. We were doing a video a month ago on generational wealth. Remember when the whole thing was talking about generational wealth?
Rothschilds.
One of the things we realized is the Vanderbilts lost their wealth. They were the richest people in the world. They lost their wealth within 2 generations. Think about that.
Damn.
You're worth a few $100 billion. The money's lost within 2 generations. But the Medici family and the Rothschild family has kept the wealth and the power for many, many years. You know what rule those guys follow? One basic rule. Don't be loud.
Yeah.
Do not be loud. Don't call out the establishment. Don't be too opinionated. Stay low-key. Keep a low profile. You don't see a Rothschild getting on TV, giving their opinions, running a podcast. You don't see a Medici family running the top podcast in the world. Now, having said that, the Medici and the Rothschild is playing a different game.
Right.
They're indirectly part of the establishment.
Of course.
Because they have to buy.
The global elite. They
Exactly.
are the definition of the global elite.
So for Tate to go out and you keep calling out the heroes of the left over and over and over and over again, you're taking the ultimate risk. This means the speed to stardom is very, very quickly, but the fall could also be very, very quickly by these guys trying to manipulate and take you down. FYI, one of the corruptest countries in the world is Romania. You know how many people messaged me yesterday from Romania? Listen, this place is corrupt. That lawyer on the Twitter Spaces yesterday said the following. He said everything in Romania is about money. Everything. So if you want to buy them out to get out, you can do it. If other countries want to buy Romania, they can do it.
Wow.
If other countries want to call Romania to say, hey, man, you guys got to get this thing squared away,
Here's
or
the
else
money.
we're not going to give you the support, or we're not going to give you this, you have to do it. Because Romania, who's Romania? Is it a top 20 empire? Is it a top 50 empire? Nobody thinks about Romania as one of the most powerful empires in the world that everybody wants to have a relationship with.
Yeah, this ain't Rome.
No. This is definitely
Romania.
not Rome. So, meaning, if a place like Romania can be bought to take a guy like this down, that is very possible. Not saying that's what happened. That's very possible. Then, last but not least, I get a message this morning from a guy that's very, very connected in the what's the word I'm looking for? He's very connected in law and FBI, PD, all of it.
Department of Justice type
Extremely qualified guy. I don't want to give exactly what his job is because you know who it is.
Okay.
He's at the
You save big this home and auto bundle, Extravafesta Save-a-thon. Time to ring the savings bell. You know what that means? Time to ring the ringing the savings bell bell. And you know what that means?
Hope your afternoon is cleared.
Listen, you keep going.
If you've got the Airbnb app on your phone, you're already halfway to making 6 figures in semi-passive monthly income.
You see, we cracked the code to recurring real estate income without needing to own real estate. Here's the secret. You just open up the Airbnb app on your phone, and with their permission, you start hosting other people's properties. That's how we've generated over $5 million in booking fees. Now here's the thing, I own none of the properties on the screen right now. Not a single one of them. I don't rent them, I don't pay a mortgage, nothing. Age, background, experience, none of it matters. Anyone can do this. Wherever you live, you can host other people's properties on Airbnb. And you can potentially create recurring real estate income without even owning any real estate. Compared to rehabbing or wholesaling real estate, the costs are very small, and the cool part is it's super scalable. We've automated the cleaning, the maintenance, even the guest communications. And I want to take you under the hood and show you how this works, but obviously this is an ad. Well, we recorded a short training you can watch right now by clicking on or around this video. On the next page, you can enter your email, and that's just so we can remind you about this training, because obviously life happens and you don't want to miss out on this. Airbnb just reported huge record-breaking bookings. Billions are up for grabs, but we can't host every property ourselves. So we're looking for a few good people who want to learn how to do this with us. And again, you don't need to own these properties. There's no rent, no loans, no mortgage, nothing. That said, this is definitely not for everyone. Some people, they just want things handed to them. But if you're not one of those people and you're willing to put forth some effort to change your life, then the most important thing I could possibly tell you to do right now is to just click on this ad. Because the main reason this works so well is that so few people know about it. So even if you never click on ads, make a one-time exception, because I think you'll love what you're about to learn. Click the link right now and we'll see you on the other side.
The following. I saw the interviews last night. Keep this in mind if you talk to them. They have to have probable cause to do these warrants. The excuse that somebody made a complaint, an anonymous complaint at that, and they send a SWAT team to his house is bullshit. Even though it's Romania, they still have laws in the U.S. Embassy, and the U.S. Embassy was involved. I think the embassy put them up to it.
Wow.
He needs to find out where the hell and complain from there. Anyways, meaning he's trying to say
they all work together.
Meaning this is not accidental
Of course not.
to do the warrant. Maybe there is a probable cause for it, but also at the same time, U.S. Embassy was involved to go in and taking him down.
Weird.
So it's a very strange situation going on with this here. So it's not just a one-sided story. There's a lot of different sides to it. But everybody jumped to conclusions celebrating this guy getting arrested. It was like their New Year's came 3 days before with this guy getting arrested.
Mm-hmm. It was weird. It reminds you of Pat, like John Gotti when he was out, and everybody was telling him, all the consiglieres, they were all like, listen, you're poking at the wrong. He's like, shut up. He's like, we're not supposed to be out. You know, it's a secret thing. You know what I mean? Like he exactly that situation with him. It's like you poked it, just kind of disappear. You can't keep can't keep messing with governments, and they're not going to come after your ass. This is a prime example of the same shit with Gotti.
A couple thoughts. A famous story that I always revisit with you that you said, I don't know who you were meeting with. You were meeting with some billionaire, and you had a business idea for this billionaire, and I think condescendingly, but also like affectionately, was like, Pat, there's two types of people in this world. There's the person who's trying to make their first billion, and the person that's already made their billions. The difference between us is I'm just trying to keep my money, AKA the Medicis, the Rothschilds, these types of people. You're the first type of person. Good luck on your endeavors. I'm going to keep doing me, right? Essentially investing in stocks or investing in bonds, essentially, if you want to put it that way. Let's not forget, nobody knew Tate 1 year ago.
No.
Okay, unless you're a kickboxer guy, nobody knew Tate whatsoever. Okay, so he's essentially working on his first billion, if you know what I mean. So, you in today's society, whether you're good, bad, up or down, it's all about views, it's all about eyeballs, it's all about status. So he's trying to make a name for himself. The problem is what this is kind of akin to is like we all read Greek mythology as a kid. Icarus, he flew a little too close to the sun and he got burned. Yep. Regarding, I think, Romania, if I may address that, I had a conversation with a buddy who lives in Colombia. We were hanging out yesterday. I go, hey, listen, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? He goes, Saz, you live in America. That's a real sweet idea. In Colombia, it's guilty until proven innocent. Mm-hmm. Like he told the story of a buddy who got his house taken away from the government, and it's taken 10 years of legal nonsense to try to get his house back that he's entitled to. So I don't know the framework in Romania, but something tells me in corrupt countries, you can kind of just do what you want to do.
Yeah, bro. Money talks.
The one thing I will say about Romania, do you think this is a good look or a bad look for the country of Romania?
Bad.
I would argue that nobody has done more to help tourism and to make Romania popular as it is now than Tate. If Tate didn't live in Romania, if he lived in Croatia, if he lived in Serbia, if he lived in somewhere in Russia, nobody would be talking about Romania.
Of course.
Like and he's said only good things about Romania. I come here, it's a Christian country. Yes, it's corrupt, but everywhere it's corrupt. This difference is you can pay people off here. There's nice people, nice women. Like it's like almost done the exact same thing that Borat did for Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Nobody know the Kazakhstan before, but the difference is Borat kind of clowned Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Tate did good things for Romania. We're talking about Romania.
Bro, he has a casino there. You know how much money with taxes that they're gonna get for the country? Are you crazy, bro?
Yeah. So he's I don't know. Look, here's what I actually want to say. You talked about like the people that love Tate, they're coming to his defense. The people that hate Tate are just jumping on it. By the way, now, for whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's anybody out there listening, now is the easiest time ever to shit on Tate.
Of course.
To pile on. I knew it. He's a scumbag. But now is actually where you show conviction and actually show friendship and actually show someone, you know what, you respect. So for me, I'm not believing any of this nonsense. I'm gonna stand by my innocent until proven guilty.
Good.
And we've had a great time with Tate. I have nothing but good things to say about Tate. Are there going to be some things we disagree upon? Sure.
Yeah.
I disagree with you.
Yeah.
You're one of my best friends here. Same with Pat. But I'm not believing any of this nonsense. Again, innocent until proven guilty.
Pull up the story I just texted you, Rob. Let's read that Reuters story that just came out an hour ago.
I agree with for sure.
So by the way, one other very credible lady got on yesterday saying, what's her name? Eliza, something like that. Okay, let me read this article and I'll tell you what she said. Ex-kickboxer Andrew Tate detained by Romanian rape and human trafficking case. Okay, go down. All right, so Romanian prosecutors asked a Bucharest court on Friday to extend detention on Andrew Tate 30 days. After the divisive internet personality was arrested on suspicion of human trafficking. Tate, a former kickboxer, and his brother Tate, okay, got that. And anti-organized crime prosecutors have notified the rights and liberties judge with the Bucharest court with a proposal to remand the 4 suspects for 30 days. The brothers declined to comment on Thursday, but their lawyer confirmed they had been detained. Prosecutors said the Tate brothers have been under criminal investigation since April. The 4 suspects appear to have created an organized crime group with the purpose of recruiting, housing, and exploiting women by forcing them to create pornographic content meant to be seen on specialized websites for a cost. Go a little lower. Keep going. Prosecutors said they would have gained important sums of money. Prosecutors said they found 6 women who had been sexually exploited by the suspects. Tate gained notoriety for misogynistic comments and hate speech. He said women are partially responsible for being raped and they belonged to men. A number of social media platforms banned Tate, including Twitter, but his account here became active again November after the platform was taken over by Elon Musk. In one of his tweets following his return to platform, said he was flying to California to tell Musk he was a legend. Tate appeared to have sent a tweet on Friday suggesting he had access to his phone and social media while in custody. Early this week, the British national was told to get a life by climate activist Greta Thunberg on Twitter. Okay, we know that whole story, how this thing takes place. But so there are 6. So one of these girls who was on the Twitter Spaces yesterday said the following. She says, "Look, you have to keep in mind that I've been dealing with one of the individuals that's." Making these claims, women that's making these claims since summer about that she was taken advantage of. And I've been working with her since April or May. This lady said, I can't give you all the details. I can't say anything. I can't do this. I can't do that because I'm representing her. I'm helping her out. But this is real. They have been doing this. And the phrase that was constantly being used yesterday is the following phrase called the lover boy allegation. I don't know if you're familiar with the lover boy allegation. Pull up lover boy allegation. Type in lover boy allegation, which lover boy human. Okay, right there. The first one. Yeah. Okay. So zoom in so we can read it in. So lover boys or Romeo pimps are human traffickers who usually operate by trying to make young girls or boys fall in love with them. Sometimes they manipulate young people in other ways. Once they have victims under their influence, they exploit them. For instance, in sex industry. Lover boy method changing due to internet and social media. Traditionally, lover boy seduces young, vulnerable girls and boys over a lengthy period of time in order to exploit them sexually. Later on, this practice is being used less and less. Nowadays, lover boys resort more quickly and frequently to threatening their victims using blackmail and violence. The internet and social media are playing an increasing role in this phenomenon. For instance, social media provides lover boys with much greater scope for establishing contact with victims and gathering information about vulnerable boys and girls. This makes it easier for them to force their young victims into the sex industry. So that is the methodology they're saying they used.
Yeah, well, if I may, the lover, listen, I go out in South Beach. I have friends who are good-looking dudes, lover boys, like pimp type dudes. What they're describing are sociopaths and criminals.
Yeah.
Okay, since when is being a good-looking, suave, methodical dude a bad thing? I think that's actually a good thing. So they're kind of copying and pasting and a nice name over actually a very criminal, intentive type of description. So I don't know, this Bro, lover boy thing.
Have you guys seen? Have you go on anything that Dan Blazarian's doing? It's go on his Instagram. It's Dan Blazarian, Pat, with like 50 of the hottest, and he's just in the back chilling. He just lover boy. I mean, bro, like obviously, and mind you, these girls are getting the notoriety. They're with them. They're on Instagram. All these girls have a massive following everywhere. Everybody's getting paid. He's the, like Adam said, lover boy. He's the playboy, and it's an image. But like I said, Pat, it's all. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but it's all cahoots. Everybody, if the U.S. Embassy's involved and they go, bro, go in there, get the cameras, record it. And mind you, when this hit, Pat, it hit all my notifications. I mean, bing, 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 bing. It's an effort by everybody all together to try to knock this guy down because he messed with him.
Let me tell you something about these lover boys, okay, whatever this is. There's exceptions and there are rules, okay? Let's talk about the rule because obviously we can go to exceptions. If you're Dan Bilzerian, if you're Andrew Tate, for example, if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, if you're Matthew McConaughey, you're George Clooney, you don't need to resort to this type of fucking nonsense. Yeah. You have girls throwing themselves at you. Yeah. You don't need to induce. You don't need to drug. You don't need to like manipulate. You get what you want. Now, the exceptions, you're a fucking scumbag like Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein. Those are the exceptions. But if you're an exceptional dude or you're a high dude, man of status, you don't need to resort to these types of measures. It's just something you don't need to do as a dude. Yeah. The worst dudes out there are the guys that can't get laid, that get no attention from girls, got nothing going on for them. Those are the sociopaths that you need to look out for. Yeah, 100%. Those are the rapists. Those are the criminals. I'm not buying this bullshit.
I mean, and Pat, the beauty, like you said, is he's lucky that it is Romania. And dude, he has money, bro. He's not gonna go to jail for. I don't think he's gonna go to jail at all. Yeah, none of them. But that's the problem because I know Pat here, the RICO thing with that, like Giuliani and them did, is that now think about this: if he has somebody in his crew that was being shady, does he get in trouble?
So what they're one of the things you guys said a lot of different things here, so I want to make sure we address this. Lover boy, Hugh Hefner was a lover boy guy.
Exactly,
number one.
He's the ultimate lover boy guy.
And you don't think he had accusations?
What, of course,
he had women still to this day accusing him of like holding them hostage.
He did, but the only difference is he didn't call out climate change activists. He didn't call out the left. He didn't call out any of this stuff. So there's a rule of thumb. If you go after the establishment, be ready. If you go after the establishment, be ready, especially the louder you are. By the way, there are only a few people loud enough to go after the establishment. One of the guys today that's super loud is number one is Musk. And Tate's in the top 10 of the loudest against the establishment. We know what happened when Trump went after the establishment. We're seeing what's going on with Musk going after the establishment. We're seeing what he went after the establishment. Those are a couple things you got to be careful with. Here's a part about what you just said. One of the claims is what they're trying to do, okay, is you know how a lot of times like, well, how come he doesn't come to U.S.? Well, I don't want to come to U.S. I don't want to come to U.S. I don't want to come to U.S. One of the claims that one of the lawyers made is they're trying to use this to bring him to U.S. courts to get him to be seen guilty. This is an outcome of trying to bring him here.
Extradition.
To bring him here and have the U.S. courts hold him accountable, okay? Because who's he calling out? If you were to take out of the 196 countries or so that we have, give or take, what country does he call out the most?
U.S.
Is there even a
Western
close,
society, Western
nothing.
culture, globalist
Western
elite,
society is the first
100%.
country he calls out non-stop. He's constantly calling out. Okay. And what's he calling out about the Western society?
Like making men into making us
System is
soft,
rigged.
and he's basically saying that when you want to come and let's say take over a country, you got to take the men, get the men out, make them feminine, and da 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 da. And he's just calling out all the woke shit.
Who the woke folks don't want to hear that. The left folks don't want to hear that.
Of course not.
The majority of women also don't want to hear that.
No. I'm telling you, yesterday, the amount of DMs that I got, I've never gotten DMs like this. You piece of shit, you this,
really?
you that,
By
you
the way, I'm
might as well die.
getting
and
the
you,
same nonsense.
I can't believe you said this, and I can't believe you said that. To me, that's not typical protocol where people message me and stuff like that. But to defend him, he's that much of a trigger to the left because Greta. Don't forget that post, that tweet by her got a couple 100 million views on Twitter, and this is under Musk. That thing got a couple 100 million views under Twitter. What does that tell you? She's got a following.
Of course.
She's got influence. People actually want to sit there and believe that she's right. And by the way, thank God she's 19 years old because some people would come back and said, you're going after a minor.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's 19 years old, so it's not like she's we all know her as 12 years old or 15 years old. She's no longer 15 years old. She's 19 years old today. So, yeah, they're trying to bring him to the States that's what a lot of people said. They're trying to bring him out here, but we'll see.
Here's where I think Tate message gets lost in translation. So when we sat with him, I said, what's the number one reason you thought you were canceled? He goes, I already know. Because I asked it, I'm like, is it masculinity? Is it toxic masculinity? Is it chauvinism? Is it calling out the system? Is it calling out the matrix? Is it male self-improvement? He's like, I already know. The reason I got canceled is because I call out the establishment. I call out the matrix. They don't want to hear what I have to say. But if you talk about Tate's messaging, I believe there's three major themes that he talks about. So number one is he calls out the matrix and the system and everything and the global elite that comes with that. Cool, fair. We just addressed that. Number two is what he's labeled as a misogynist or a chauvinist and toxic masculinity. And that's kind of how he's labeled. Like if you look at any article out there, any headline, it's male chauvinist, Andrew Tate, toxic masculinity, Andrew Tate. And that's kind of what he's framed as. But if you actually peel back the onion and you actually listen to what Tate's saying and not taking it little sound bites, all he's talking about at the end of the day is male self-improvement. And that's essentially everything that we stand for here at Valuetainment. That's everything that I talk about here is no matter what you're doing in life as a man, there's always room for self-improvement. Personal responsibility, being positive, whether that's being stronger, faster, cooler, wealthier, doper, sexier, everything is about status, okay? So when it comes to self-improvement, here, I'm going to go on a little rant for a second. The number one thing that a man can have is status. There's three types of status that a man can reach. There's number one, wealth, okay, and everything that comes with wealth. Money, success, ambition, your network, everything that you collect, resources, that's number one, part of status. Number two is attractiveness as a man, status. So meaning you're good looking, you're in shape, you're suave, you dress well. Like Jordan Peterson talks about dressing in suits and looking like a man. So that is attractiveness. Women obviously like dudes with six packs and muscle, like that's part of that. And then the third one is having game. Now, there's different types of game out there that can improve your status. So whether it's you're funny, you're a comedian, you're clever, you're witty, you're romantic, you're kind, whatever it is, that's your game. Now, here's the deal. If you're in the top 10% of any of those three categories, you will get women and women will come to you. What do I mean? If you've got a ton of money, I don't care if you look like
we've seen
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Women are going to be attracted to you. Number two, if you're an attractive guy, you're in shape, you're a good-looking dude, like that's done. Like no matter how much money you have, you're going to get women. If you've got game, whether you're a funny comedian or whether you're a suave dude or romantic, whatever it is, whatever your skill set is, if you're in the top 10% of any of those three categories, you'll get women. Now, to put this all together, like Tate would do, he would say keep working on all three. Make your money, work your ass out, improve your game, learn how to talk to women. You know, famously in the red pill community, what he's a part of, it's money, muscles, game, and hold frame. So again, back to my initial point. Yes, he talks about the system, and he talks about people label him as a misogynist and a toxic masculinity. But at the end of the day, I think the reason that he's resonated with so many dudes is he's like, nobody's coming to save you, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody's walking in this door. You need to do it yourself. Keep improving. Keep working. Outwork, out-strategize, out-improve, outlast. And that's his messaging. But nobody wants to talk about that.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.
At Block Advisors, we do taxes for small businesses like Barry's, no matter what season it is.
What's up, fans? Moneyline's the best. It helps people get control of their money.
Download the Moneyline app and stay tuned for something wild at 420.
Get the link in the description. So you believe in UFOs? You believe that the government's hiding stuff from us? Kinda?
I don't disbelieve.
I don't disbelieve it.
I don't disbelieve, but I don't
But
believe.
listen,
I think it's possible.
Can I give you my opinion?
Yes, please.
I don't believe the universe just chose us to be the only one. Look at these guys. They're so special. They're going to be the only one in existence.
You know what,
And
those...
nobody in trillions of miles away going to be existing but them. Trillions of miles. I mean, from the end of time, there's nobody's going to ever exist but us. We're going to handle all this space by ourselves. You believe that?
No, I don't believe
So
that.
10 million miles of space, there's nobody. 1 billion miles of space, there's nobody but us.
I think there's definitely some shit visiting us over the course of human history. That
Maybe they're unconscious. Hello, this is another episode of Hot Boxing. I have my co-host here, my man Bash, and we're here with the incredible Joe Rogan. How you doing, brother?
Thanks for having me.
Man, it was a pleasure being here with you, man.
It was fun hanging out today. That was a fun podcast.
Oh, it's getting ready to be even more fun.
I'm excited.
So tell us, brother, how do you feel about all this magnificent success you've been having?
It's bizarre. It doesn't seem normal, you know?
Every time we
very
turn around, we hear about you getting a deal here, getting a deal here, getting a deal here, and then we heard somebody try to cancel you.
There's been a lot of that.
Yeah, that's why we got this stuff relevant, so no one can cancel you, and you could do all the counseling.
How do you feel about that? Like the whole cancel culture?
Well, what it is it's a culture of people being able to express themselves. And when people can express themselves, they can change the way other people feel about things. They can get people upset at things. You could say things that you've never been able to say before. You like so many people have the ability to express themselves now. So it's like you can get someone fired. Like if you decide that you're gonna pile onto someone because you don't like what they said or what they did, you can get them fired. That's a new thing in history. Because before you would have to have like a letter writing campaign. Like if someone had done something and they were a movie star and you didn't want to go to their movies, you had to like organize. Someone had to figure out a way, like, how do we let people know that this guy sucks?
Yeah.
Like, what do you have to do? And they would have to have made like, you know, they would have to get like mailing lists and actual send out letters and shit. Or they would have to find a way. Now all you'd have to do is like tweet about something or make a YouTube video about something. So in some ways, it's like, it's forcing people to get their shit together.
Exactly.
How do you think that affects people in the art realm, like comedians, right? That must be hard for comedians now, right, with the cancel culture.
It definitely is. I mean, Ari Shaffir said something very smart about it. He said it made comedy dangerous again. Like, because people can pretend that you're not just talking shit. They can take your words out of context and try to make it look like you mean something by what you're saying.
And that's
you write
when,
something in print.
That's when the counterculture starts to recounter itself. That means we can't say something because you don't like it, you particularly don't like it, or your organization don't like it.
Yeah. There's that too. It's like when you have a corporation and you're in control of like what gets shown. Like they can just decide if you have something to say about something and they don't agree with it, they can just decide to remove your videos.
Yeah.
And you know that. So you have to watch what you say and watch what you do.
But it's different.
So
It's different.
I wonder if there's like an upside to it. I wonder if all this extra sensitivity is going to make people more conscious about what their words mean to other people.
No, listen,
You
no,
know?
it's not going to do that.
You don't
It's
think so?
No,
There's
it's gonna
not no upside
it's
at
gonna
all?
always be somebody to say, F them.
Right.
What about me? I got my feelings. I'm a human being too.
That's true. It does get to a point where like people want to be, they want to have felt bad about something someone said. They want to be upset. Like it's recreational outrage for some people.
Like people are too woke.
Yeah, it's just like
What's that
it's
woke
just-
stuff? I heard about
they're
that.
trying so hard.
Tell me what woke means.
It's like
it's complicated. It means
What's
good.
the
Some people think it means good
abbreviation? What's the
things.
abbreviation mean?
it's essentially like being enlightened and
Be
like
awake.
Yeah, be awake to
up
something that's
to all the
bigger.
bullshit.
That's bigger. That's
Yeah.
bigger than yourself.
Then what
type
should we
thing.
know? That what's bigger than us? God. After that, what's bigger than us?
Well,
So
that's
this-
what a lot of people believe the problem is that a lot of people don't have God, and they substitute God for other things that mimic the same kind of control religion has, and ideologies are one of those things.
Listen, I'm a Muslim, right? So my daughter said, Jesus said we were gods, but we can die like normal kings and princes. I said, yeah, but get the, no. I said, look it up, because I'm always doing I'm always confrontational with my daughter. I said, look it up, show me it. Like, where is it? And she's looking through the Bible, she's looking. I said, you can't find it, can you? And she's waiting. And then she finds that Jesus said, we all are gods, but we could fall just like any king or prince once we're hit, we're going to die. We're living, so we're demigods pretty much, Jesus said. We're gods just with flaws. And so since you know you have flaws, but our only flaw is dying, truly. Because we know we could be allowed to be forgiven for everything we did, but we can't be forgiven for dying. We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
And what do you think happens when we die? We're like trees, like when the plants die, and then the summertime comes, they come back to life, they blossom again. Is that what human beings do, you think?
What's fascinating about the
How do you
Bible
know?
is
What
that
makes
stuff.
you think that doesn't happen?
Nobody knows,
No one
right?
knows. No one knows. I know there's God though. I know there's
Yeah,
a
but I
God.
feel like, that's like we're like plants. We're dead. Now it's time for, we die and God creates. Whatever you do, God's going to create. You play football, he's going to create. You lose games, he's going to create. You win championships, he's going to create. Whatever happens, God is creating.
Yeah.
The wild thing about the Bible is that it's thousands of years old and people are still reading it. They're still reading this thing that was the framework for civilization.
You know what that tells you? That people are born to worship. We're born to worship people.
There's probably I think they've isolated that part of like human psychology. That's
born
like
to
something
worship.
that we need.
Even the hardest man in the world will say, wow, you did a magnificent job. That was splendid, or whatever. It's in our nature. Don't care how tough we are, don't care how successful we are. It's in our nature to just worship.
Our friends at Manscaped are turning their men's shower dreams into their favorite routines. The ultra premium new collection is an all-in-one hygiene, skin, and hair bundle.
It's designed to upgrade your shower from head to toe. Using Manscaped during my showers after workout has given me much more confidence.
The shower routine uses all the collection's products. You start with the cologne-infused ultra premium body wash. You'll smell so great, all the ladies will be after you.
Next, you apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that cleanses.
Once you hop out the shower, apply the Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant. If you have tattoos or dry skin, hit your skin with the hydrating body moisturizer spray.
Last but not least, check out the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer to clean off any unwanted body hair. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, and so it can join you in the shower.
Although your balls might look like punching bags, don't treat them like one. The lawnmower is designed to cut hair on loose skin.
Get 20% off free shipping with code to HOTBOXING at manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping with code HOTBOXING at manscaped.com.
It's time to get wet and clean with your new Manscaped shower routine.
Yeah, I remember, I think, reading something saying that the Bible is probably the most bought book ever. or like most like read book ever. It's pretty honestly amazing.
It's probably that and then Harry Potter. Harry Potter's probably a strong second.
That's no cap.
Harry Potter might have the Bible beat.
When I look at,
We might want to look that up.
When you look
Harry Potter might have the Bible beat.
The Bible's interesting.
That's how
because
gangster that lady is.
everybody is everybody got the Bibles is all different stories.
Well, Mike, that's what we were talking about, that the Dead Sea Scrolls and the podcast that we were doing earlier. That's where it gets really wild. That's thousands of years old. They found it in a cave in Qumran. They just found these scrolls that has versions of the Bible that never had seen before.
Well, you know, Constantine, he said, hey, you could put that in the Bible. No, you can't put that in the Bible.
Yeah.
Remember, like 300
Yeah.
AD or BC? What, AD,
Whatever the New
Constantine.
Testament was, whenever
And
they
he
did
brought
that,
all the
yeah.
religious people, said, no, you can't put that in the Bible. Yeah, you can put that. No, not that. Well, maybe that. Yeah, that's okay, but take that out.
The thing is, like, for sure, man had a hand in it, but when you go back and read, like, what were they trying to say? Like, what was when it was written in ancient Hebrew and then they translated it into Latin, they translated it into Greek, like, when it was in ancient Hebrew, like, what were they trying to say? What
They were
was
saying
this?
That's
What were you writing
What
down?
they're saying right now, what preachers are saying right now, surrender to God. Regardless of who it is, surrender to God. That's what they're saying. That's what it's ever been since the beginning of time. Surrender to God. Since the beginning of Let There Be Light, surrender to God.
And I think it's interesting because I think in majority of religions, like you said, you're Muslim, right? There's always one entity, right, that you want to worship and give your all to.
Yeah.
And devote yourself to. So I think it's interesting because essentially God's in everything, kind of, right? Does that make sense? It's just in different forms, different religions, and different.
Every religion has some kind of God,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Except for weird ones. You know, there's probably a few made up ones. That
Yeah,
don't
well,
have a
listen.
God.
At one
Right?
time,
Like
I
recently
was
created ones.
explaining to him earlier that at one time superstition was a religion. You know, superstition was a religion. People, yes.
I didn't know that.
Hold my butt. I used to hold my button when I go by a Catholic church or graveyards or something. So I always hold my butt in the Catholics. Something crazy. I don't know what the hell I would do. My mother told me to do this crap.
But let's move on to a different note. So now you're in
I
Texas.
love this guy.
Now
This
you're
is
in
why I love
Texas,
this
huh?
fucking guy.
You moved
Yeah.
from California.
Yeah.
What is it like down here? What was the whole vibe? Do you like it?
Well, I came out here in May of 2020 when LA was locked down, and 2 weeks had become, a couple of months, and there was no hint of anything opening up. It was weird. And we came here, and it was totally different. We came here, and everybody was going out. You go to the lake, there's people on boats. And my kids jumped in the water and they were playing. They're like, we want to live here. And I was like, I will fucking move here right now. And my wife agreed. And we said, let's go. Let's try it. And so we it was a different feel.
Houston is
There's
nice.
so much
Houston, I said,
fear.
wow, this is nice, Houston.
It's so nice. People are so nice here. But it was just a different feel than LA. And then I realized part of it is like, in LA, you're connected to television shows and movies. You're connected to like executives and studio heads and Hollywood. It's like a different world because comedians are always trying to get on those shows. They're always trying to get booked in these
You're a
different
mean
things.
comedian.
I'm not a mean comedian.
Yes, you are.
No.
I saw you in one of your shows. You were mean to everybody.
No.
You're hitting people. You ever see it? Let's look at some of his show.
Please don't
Let's
pull up
look
any of
up
my shows.
Joe Rogan being mean.
I'm never mean unless someone's mean to me. I'm that's the last thing
When
I
I'm
wanna
on my
be.
show, I always like hecklers. I love hecklers.
You like
I
hecklers?
love the rip into, and that's the dark side of me.
I don't like hecklers.
That's the dark side of me. I love the heckler.
So essentially, you just found a new place. This is
I just
peaceful,
felt
it's
it felt
nice,
like
it's
more
nice, it's nice.
relaxed here. Like people are nicer.
Southern
just-
hospitality.
It was a different kind of vibe.
I agree. It's like heaven out here. I was after that. This is awesome.
Are you really Googling, am I mean? How dare you?
Who's doing that? Who's doing that?
What are you doing? And sticking that in front of my face?
We
We're
forgot
talking
that
about
stuff.
how
We
to
forgot
not make
that
someone
stuff.
feel comfortable. He's got
forgot
a
that
giant
stuff.
screen. Is Joe Rogan mean?
You saw
Get
that
the fuck
stuff,
out
right?
of here with that.
What's your sign, Joe?
I'm a Leo, but
Yeah.
do you believe in that stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, listen. Jewish people didn't believe in that either, right? And then they found a 7th century, synagogue with the whole, look it up, 7th century synagogue with the horoscope on the floor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Seventh
It was
century.
religion at one time.
How the fuck did they figure that out?
See?
How did they figure out?
7th century, what is it?
That's different.
Synagogue? 7th century synagogue.
I've never had someone explain to me how they figured out astrology. Have you ever heard it explained?
Listen, people believe it.
I know a lot of people believe it. I know a lot of people like live their life. Like Nancy Reagan used to live her life by it. Did you know that? Yeah. Nancy Reagan was like
listen,
heavy.
My mentor
Google this.
Customato did. My
Did he?
mentor Customato
Really?
How do you
did
live your
by
life
it.
by that, though?
She would make decisions.
You read it every
like,
day.
She would make decisions
Every
like
day
what
and every
Ron
night.
could do and not do. With Ronald Reagan, the fucking president, what he could and couldn't do, what should and shouldn't do, based on horoscopes, based on astrology.
And listen,
But she had
right?
someone to like. I guess that the people that are real good, they find out what time you were born, what part of the country.
You know what I find
you
out?
know,
my
what-
mentor Customato's a damn mystic. Everything he believed was psychological. He never. That's how come he died. He never went to the hospital. He didn't believe in doctors.
How long did you live for?
77.
Wow.
Wow.
Never
77?
went,
No hospital?
Never went to the doctors. Very rarely. Never did.
I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you.
That stuff. Never
Just
did
ate
the
clean,
needle,
ate clean.
No, he didn't eat well either. He just didn't believe in hospitals. They're a different time. His parents died like in the 20s or something. So he's seen people come in there with the little stretcher and carry them in. And, you know, they might be some Irish doctor that may drop the fucking body and hit on the head and laugh because it's some Italian guy. I'm serious.
Mike, look at that, a horoscope.
Look at that.
That's the one in the
incredible.
synagogue.
That's
So
incredible.
listen, don't ever doubt me when I tell somebody something. Okay? People try to doubt me. You know, Jews don't believe in this shit. So why is it in the synagogue? Listen, this thing been here longer than our grandparents, so that's 700 years after Christ they're doing this stuff.
What do you think is more accurate? Do you think like that horoscope or the Chinese horoscopes that have like, you know, year of the goat?
Listen,
which one is more accurate?
They're all combined. They're combined in one. They're all one.
It's all one sort of thing. Where they're
Probably
figuring out
probably different
personalities.
languages, different culture, but it's all one.
I wonder if you read like someone's horoscope from both of those things and tried to.
They do.
I wonder if they line up though. You know.
Listen, they've been doing this longer than we've been alive.
Well, the people that are really good at it, they insist that it's like very complicated, and that it's like reading someone's thing. It's not guesswork. You have to like compile all this data, what time and what part of the world, and what time of the year.
Listen, some people would call it black magic. You know, it's more black magic than you would say Christianity or Islamic or anything, wouldn't you say? But it makes sense though.
It does make some kind of sense that if everything is moving and everything has gravity and it moves through the cosmos and it's in different positions.
Listen, I'm the cancer. I cry over anything. I'm crying over fucking Rose. Rose is crying. She got me. I'm crying.
She made me cry too, though.
Yeah, but you know. Let me see
That's a
these
wild
guys. Who's
fight.
Hargamash? So let's see who these guys. Who's fighting now?
Kamzat Chimaev. He's from Chechnya.
You know who called him that?
Psychopath.
You know who
Right?
else
These
called him
these
that?
guys
It's a
could
wild
fight.
dude.
Huh?
Wait,
Yeah.
what'd you call him? We called him
Hamzat.
Oh, Hamzat.
Hamzat Chimaev.
Okay,
yeah. Colby Covington calls him Cumshot.
So does
It's very rude.
So,
A lot of other guys do it too.
Cum shot what?
Remember?
Listen, say that, yo. He calls him what?
He calls him Cumshot.
What? Listen, I can't
It's very
say
rude.
nothing about that.
It's very rude.
Remember,
but he's just fucking with his head, obviously.
Remember Izzy? We had Izzy on the show. Adesanya.
Oh, he says it too?
Adesanya. He said that too on the show. Is that like a thing now? Like,
It
he
sounds
called
like
me-
something
he
Izzy
called
would
this
say.
guy this.
Did you watch that fight, Mike?
Which one?
Between him and Gilbert Burns?
No, but I know this guy has some issues that he looks like a nice guy, but he's kind of psychopathic,
Oh, he's
right?
a full psychopath. Full psychopath.
You think he's a rising star?
Oh yeah, I
he
mean
is a
he
star.
just
He is a
beat
star.
Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns was a number 2 contender, I think,
Probably
or number
beat the
3.
shit out of him, huh?
He beat him. No, it was a close fight.
Yeah, wow.
It was a good fight. It was a very, very good fight. Some people even thought Gilbert won. Like,
Let's look at
I have good friends that texted me afterwards and they thought Gilbert won. I thought it was a very good fight, though. Very close fight. It was the first time Hamzat had ever been tested. Gilbert dropped him.
But you know
Gilbert
he
hit him
can
with a
take
big right hand and dropped him.
How do you think he'd match up with Adesanya and Usman?
See, the thing is, like,
They look too big for him.
Usman beat Burns in his last outing pretty handily. I mean, Burns caught him in the first round with a big shot, but Usman survived easily and then stopped Burns afterwards, and just was the first guy to be able to really dominate him like that.
Burns,
so there's like,
you know, there's
levels.
He's a good fighter, but he gets hit a lot.
Well, Burns is a wild man. He's a wild man. It's one of the reasons why he's so good, but it's also one of the reasons why he took this fight, because he's got the balls to fight this big, giant welterweight and go to war with him.
Yeah.
And very little of the fight was on the ground. And even on the ground, the thing is, like, Gilbert's like, he dropped him a jab. Gilbert is super dangerous on the ground. I mean, he's a 4-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. And really started his career at 155, fought at 55 for a while, but at 170, I mean, he beat Tyron Woodley pretty handily. He's a beast, man. He's really good.
He's enthusiastic, too.
Oh, he's a fucking beast.
Enthusiasm makes it happen. I always tell my daughter that. The enthusiasm makes it happen, baby.
He's a born fighter. And he's also a guy who competes regularly in grappling at an elite level.
Wow.
Yeah, he fought Rafael Lovato. He had a match with him, a jiu-jitsu match with him, and beat him. And Lovato was like top of the food chain American Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, like world champion in Bellator, like an elite guy. And Gilbert beat him in a grappling match. I mean, he didn't submit him, but he beat him on points in a grappling match, which is crazy for a guy that's fighting at this level in the UFC to also be able to compete at a super high level in grappling simultaneously. I mean, that's what a warrior Gilbert Burns is. He's a beast. But that dude, Hamzat, is the fucking truth.
Real deal.
He's the fucking truth. Because he got hit with bombs. He got his head spun around backwards, never backed off.
He kicked him off the
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
He almost kicked him out of the picture of the television, right?
That's a battle. That's
Right here,
a battle.
he got dropped here and immediately dives in and grabs a hold of him and takes him down. I mean, he was on Queer Street right there.
Oh, they fighting hard.
It was a war.
Yeah, it was a war.
The first fight that he was ever really tested inside the octagon, and all the other fights that he's had 4 wins. He's been hit twice, and that's not bullshit. 4 wins, he was hit twice. In this fight, he was hit like 119 times or something crazy. It was an amazing fight.
Listen, didn't we just read about the Chetnians? What
We
kind
just
of
did.
mentality they are?
Tough fucking
And that's
people,
their
man.
mentality too.
Yeah.
And you know what they do for entertainment? They wrestle bears and they no, listen. I've been there, I traveled, I stayed there. I've been there. I know the president ran them. And they watch like Evel Knievel stunts and tricks and the guy with a motorcycle. Just the whole time you sit there and watch it.
They have a lot of MMA fighters that come out of there.
sorry.
I'm just gonna say they get behind a lot of MMA fighters. It's very like combat sports driven country. So when a guy like Hamzat comes out of there, you also got to think like horrible place to live.
Listen,
it's dangerous.
Life is
middle
not worth
war.
a quarter. Life is just worth a word.
Yeah.
Not worth anything.
It's a war-torn part of the world, and the people that survive, guys like him, and then he goes over to Sweden and becomes an elite wrestler. The people that he trains with, he's like their brothers. He would never fight them. He's like very tightly knit with the people he trains with. Because he just started training with this English guy, Darren